Everyone said the dollar was dying. They said it in 2008. They said it in 2014. They said it in 2022. They're saying it again right now. And every single time the dollar got stronger. While nations dumped US Treasury bonds, the dollar index rose. While China built a shadow payment system, the dollar remained the world's price tag. While wars raged over oil corridors, the world still settled those wars in dollars. So which is it? Is the dollar dying? Or is it the most indestructible financial instrument in human history? The answer is neither. And the truth is more dangerous than both. Stay with me. This is Wealth Geostrategy. Here is the question that nobody is answering clearly. If 85% of Russia's trade with China is now in yuan, how is the dollar still at 58% of global reserves? If Saudi Arabia is accepting yuan for some oil deals, how is the dollar still used to price every barrel of oil on Earth? If China has built CIPS, their own alternative to SWIFT, how does SWIFT still process 5 trillion in transactions every single day? Here's the answer. The dollar isn't one thing, it's 3 things, and its rivals have only damaged one of them. To understand if the dollar is truly dying, you have to understand what it actually is. What holds it up? What would have to collapse for the dollar to fall? Most people have never asked that question. They just repeat the headline. We're going to answer it. The dollar rests on 3 pillars. Not 1. 3. Pillar 1. Oil. You've heard this. The petrodollar. Since 1974, oil is priced in dollars. To buy oil, you need dollars. To have dollars, you need to trade with America. The loop sustains itself. This pillar is cracking, slowly. UN oil deals, shadow fleets, BRICS settlements. We've covered this in detail in previous videos. But here's what most people miss. Oil is only one pillar. Pillar 2, US Treasury bonds. This is the hidden engine, not oil, bonds. Every nation on Earth, every bank, every pension fund, every sovereign wealth manager holds US Treasury bonds as their safe asset. Their financial bedrock. The thing they run to when everything else is on fire. When the 2008 financial crisis hit, the world bought more dollars. When COVID collapsed economies, the world bought more dollars. When the Iran war erupted, the world bought more dollars. Because there is no other asset with the depth, the liquidity, and the legal certainty of a US Treasury bond. Not yet. This is the pillar China cannot replicate. You cannot sanction it. You cannot bomb it. You can only build a competitor, and that takes decades. SWIFT, the New York Federal Reserve, the Eurodollar market, the global network of dollar-denominated contracts, derivatives, loans, and legal systems that run on American financial architecture. 2.7 quadrillion. That is the estimated size of the global derivatives market. The vast majority of it, priced, settled, and cleared in US dollars. You don't replace that overnight. You don't replace it in a decade. The dollar isn't strong because people love America. It's strong because dismantling the system would destroy the people dismantling it. The petrodollar is one pillar. 2 more hold the structure up. Subscribe to Wealth Geostrategy. We follow the architecture, not the headlines. Because what comes next, the cracks, is where it gets genuinely alarming. Now let's be honest about what is breaking. Pillar 1 is fracturing. We've established that. The yuan oil deals, the shadow fleet, BRICS trade settlements bypassing the dollar. Slow, but real. But look more carefully at Pillar 2. In 2014, foreign governments held 43% of all US Treasury debt. Today, that number is below 30% and falling. China has reduced its treasury holdings by $300 billion since 2021. Japan, America's largest foreign creditor, has sold hundreds of billions more. They are not panic selling. They are quietly, methodically reducing their exposure, diversifying into gold, into yuan assets, into each other's bonds. This is not the collapse. This is the preparation for the collapse. There's a difference, and that difference is time. And Pillar 3? CIPS, China's alternative to SWIFT, processed $12 trillion in transactions last year, up from $4 trillion in 2020, growing at 30% per year. It is not replacing SWIFT. Not yet, but it is building the infrastructure that would make replacement possible. The dollar isn't dying, but someone is quietly building the hospital where it would go when the time comes. So what would it actually take? What are the specific events that would bring the dollar down? Not theory. Triggers. If foreign creditors stop buying US Treasuries and domestic buyers can't fill the gap, yields explode upward. America can no longer afford to service its debt. The Federal Reserve prints money to compensate. Hyperinflation follows. This is the sequence. It has happened to every empire before America. Rome, Britain, the Ottoman Empire. The mechanism is always the same. The debt grows faster than the ability to service it. Then the currency breaks. There is a threshold. Economists call it network tipping point. It's the moment a new system has enough users that switching from the old system costs less than staying. SWIFT hit that threshold in the 1980s. CIPS has not hit it yet. But if BRICS expands and the nations within it begin settling all trade in non-dollar systems, the tipping point moves closer. When it arrives, it won't be a slow decline. It will feel sudden, because tipping points always do. Trigger 3. The United States defaults. Unlikely, but not impossible. America has hit the debt ceiling 78 times. Each time, it has raised it. Each raise, 1 trillion, 2 trillion, 5 trillion more. At some point, the political will to keep raising breaks. Or the market's willingness to keep lending breaks first. A technical default on US debt, even for 72 hours, would trigger a global financial earthquake with no historical precedent. None of these triggers have happened. But all three are closer today than they were 5 years ago. So what does all of this mean for your daily life? If the dollar weakens gradually, and that is what is happening, the cost of everything imported rises. Electronics, food, medicine, energy. Your purchasing power shrinks without a single change to your paycheck. Your savings, held in dollars, buys less each year. Not because of inflation in the traditional sense, because the unit of account itself is worth less globally. And for investors, the question is no longer if diversification matters. The question is when. Nations have already answered that question. Central banks bought more gold in 2024 and 2025 than in any two-year period since 1967. They are not doing that because they think the dollar is fine. They are doing it because they know that in a world of three pillars, one is cracking, one is eroding, and the third is being methodically reverse-engineered by the most patient economy in human history. Preparation is not panic. Understanding is not pessimism. This channel exists to give you both. The dollar is not dying. Not today, not next year, probably not this decade. But the architecture holding it up is being stress-tested in ways it has never been tested before. Three pillars, one cracking, one eroding, one being rebuilt in Beijing. The dollar's dominance isn't the story. The timeline is the story. And the timeline is shrinking. We've now built the full picture across hours videos. The petrodollar, the Strait, the UN ultimatum, Operation Epic Fury, and now the architecture of dollar power itself. What comes next is not a prediction. It is a pattern. And patterns for those paying attention are the most valuable intelligence in the world. Subscribe to Wealth Geostrategy. We'll be watching the pattern.